Good morning, everyone. How is it going? Good morning. Good morning. Early morning. Once again, 6:30. Hmm. All right. So I need to mute YouTube here. We'll get going here in a moment. Just want to make sure I sent Shadowhawk the link. All right. I have not. So we will send him the link. I'm sure he's up, getting ready for work. He says he found all the episodes of Farscape on Crackle. It's a free streaming service. Uh-oh. I have a cat outside. Uh-oh. Getting in something because I hear the ring, and so does Abby. Having lime with my coffee or coffee with my lime. Yes, I heard it too. Maybe two cats fighting. Maybe I won't have a disemboweled cat on my hands later. In my front yard or something. They can take care of themselves. Definitely getting into it with something out front here. Yeah, I have to listen to that later. Like the Cranberries. Sharon Tate in a bikini. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Charles Lawton. Yeah, he was a great Hunchback of Notre Dame. 1939 RKO classic. RKO did some great monster movies. I mean, King Kong for one. Oh, Tree Goblin in the house. Hey, Tree Goblin. Man, internet's in and out working. Okay. Are you working, or is your internet's in and out and you're working? I think that's what you mean. If your internet's in and out, it's not working too well. This thing. I'm sure we know. Black and white ash can still up and running. Let's take a look. 30 seconds. I'll be working on a campaign as soon as today. I'll be trying to refit the old campaign up on Indiegogo. Uh, and working on the Devil Flyer #1 campaign. So there's that. I have to get going on that because Devil Flyer #1 launches the 30th of April. Have to get busy and get ready. "1963, The Birds." 60 years ago today, Alfred Hitchcock's movie had its premiere in New York, starring Rod Taylor, Tippi Hedren, Jessica Taddy, and Susan Pleshette. I hope I said that right. They put starring and they don't put any commas there in between the names, so it's just like all run on. What I know, On this was a big part of my childhood. Let me see here. I can bring it up. Share the screen. This is not to be missed. On March 27th, now that was yesterday, okay, 1976, Schoolhouse Rock's I'm Just a Bill first aired on ABC. Now that's one out of just a handful of those things that I totally remember. But it's one of the best ones. They actually have all these on disc if you want them, which I do not have those, but I would like to. I think when I saw it on a disc collection, it was more than I was willing to pay for it. Conjunction Junction, what's your function? That's another one that I remember. Or a hanker for a hunk of cheese.
Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." And he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will. But today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Anyway, you get the gist of it. I remember Conjunction Junction. Yeah. Yep. I do too. Dick Van Dyke stated that he is doing okay after his recent audio crash. He stated the airbags did not deploy, so I just did a face plant right in the steering wheel. Ouch. And it made me a little dumber, he says. Dick is 97 years old. Yeah. Now this is a rare beast indeed. Cloudzilla. Someone captured that. Cloudzilla. Maybe that'll be in the latest monster movie. Doc Blaylock, who hopefully will come in a little bit later. Thank you, Luke Stone Studio, for an amazing piece. So I guess Luke drew this. I'm thinking of cover C coming soon. Oh, hell yeah. Doc's Pariah, Blood and Mud. There you go. No, it's a little small. Blow it up on your devices if you can. I haven't really had a chance to look at it. I just saw it posted just a little bit ago. The fiery Eldrick over her shoulder there almost looks like fiery fairy wings. Hell yeah. It's a nice piece by Luke. I like the encroachment around the edge. It almost looks like an old photo through a view scope or something. Pretty neat. 97, that's incredible. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke, 97 years old. 1950, the first Dunkin' Donuts opened in Quincy, Massachusetts. How about that? Dunkin' Donuts. And an early start. I had to wait till 1950, I guess, to get a decent donut. I don't know. Well, franchise, I don't know. We've never had a Dunkin' Donuts around here. It was kind of like 7-Eleven. Never had a 7-Eleven. Oh, he showed it yesterday on the show? Okay. All right. That's news to me. I don't get out much. Here's a still picture of London after midnight, a vampire story, Lost classic. So there were rumors that someone might have a copy of it, found copy of it, and that they were just waiting for the copyright to run out. I hope that is, hey, old dirty fatty, hey, Shadowhawk. Now it's just called Dunkin'. Oh, okay, instead of Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. I'm hoping that they'll find London After Midnight as Lost Horror Classic, but I'm not gonna hold my breath too much. It may just be lost to history. Now some history fortunately have been preserved for us to watch, howbeit even maybe just not really secondhand, but later on in life, right? Here is Charles L. Willis, filmed in 1930. So that's been a minute ago, right? That was a year before my father was born. So I can calculate that up. 93 years ago, talking about the night in 1865, he witnessed Abraham Lincoln's assassination at Ford's Theater in Washington, the 16th president of the United States. He also stood on the Peterson house porch when Lincoln was carried inside. You think that's crazy. Well, if you take the average person's life, 80 years, and you're about back to 1776 right there. So we're 3 generations away from our founding of our country. Now that's crazy. But this guy, as a little boy, witnessed in 1865 the assassination of Abraham Lincoln at the Ford Theater, and also stood on the porch where Lincoln was carried inside across the street, where he would eventually die. So let's take a listen. Filmed in 1930.
All right, sir. On April the 14th, 1865, 65 years ago, President Lincoln was present at a performance at Ford's Theater. There was a large audience present. I had a seat in the orchestra nearly beneath the box of the president.
Good morning, Carrie.
The first 2 acts passed off pleasantly, and the curtain rose for the third and last act. Few, if any, words were spoken on the stage, and I heard the sharp report of a revolver. I looked toward the place whence the sound came, and saw Booth climbing over the rail in front of the box and jumped to the stage a few feet to his right. When he struck the stage, he kind of staggered. Raising his right hand, holding a knife, he said, "Sic semper tyrannis," and ran to the rear of the stage and escaped through an alley. The audience around me now were all standing, in fear to be shot. Not much talk going on. The people began to move out of the theater, and when I reached the exit, there was a large crowd in the street. There was shouting, hanging, lynching, begging. I took refuge on the porch opposite, and shortly thereafter, some men carrying the president entered the house where I stood. I stepped off the porch that they may enter. The president died the following morning in that house.
So some history has been preserved. That's pretty awesome testimony from somebody who was there all the way back to the 16th president. Awesome. Here's some history for you. Hex Allen, he hasn't had time really to post anything. He's playing with his new lightsaber that he got at the convention. Way to go, Hex. Hope you have a great Tuesday. Get busy on that mini comic. Do it. I'm not even sure that he's aware. Here's the infamous Mike S. Miller sporting a Delkion Aaron Lopresti t-shirt. I know, not what you want to wake up to in the morning, but there you have it. It's pretty cool that video survived. Absolutely. And I think, I heard a testimony. I don't know if it's the same gentleman, on an early 50s program. Now, he was a little boy, probably different, than that guy there. If that was filmed in 1930, he was probably a little bit older. But there was a boy, and he gives a testimony on like a game show or something like that. He talks about it. So he wasn't the only witness. So in early TV, there are witnesses to the death of Lincoln. King Cryptid 1 and 4 physical proofs are here. Peter Samedi says, so he's gotten the proofs to King Cryptid, all the covers. Looks like he's done some flip style covers. I'll just kill the audio on that and we'll watch him flip through here, and you can take a look at that Brog. He's got a Brog instead of a Bog. That's a great name, Brog. Yeah, look at that. Flip style. Like that. So is that a separate issue? I didn't tell. Let's see, 2 and 2. Okay, so it's like 2 covers per book on flip style. Hell yeah. And then the blank variant cover. Yeah. Hell yeah. He ought to be able to sell that in the comic book shops. Hell yeah. Pete knows what's going on. Kids like monsters. If they see that, they're probably going to pick it up. When he announced King Cryptid, I went back on it came out on a Wednesday when he said that all those characters that he was doing for covers on, anyway, I went back and bought, an extra copy or 2 of those. So I'd have the first appearances of those characters on covers. That's what you do. You pick up those first appearances. Now, I was thinking Willie Brown. But this is Jerry R. Lewis, congressman. He was in Congress for far too long, 33 years, in my opinion. March with Dr. Luther King. That doesn't impress me and all like that. This is the gentleman I always think of. But I was thinking it might have been Willie Brown. So I got him mixed up. Sorry about that, Shadowhawk. I thought Willie Brown was the one that kind of got with our, or is alleged, got with our vice president as she was coming up through the ranks. But now this gentleman here, I've seen him. Sadly, he's passed away now. But or he'd still be in office. But before he left, he lost his freaking mind. He was in some meeting, and it's a matter of record. Uh, they're talking about how many troops to allocate to Guam, which is a province of America. And he said, well, um, my concern is if we get too many troops on the island, it'll tip over. Do you feel like that is a possibility? I was stunned into silence. He should have been impeached at that moment. No, generally, well, islands just don't tip over. I don't know, man. Gotta head to work. Have a great day. You too. Hey ho, Joe. Kumquat thief. Yeah, he was. Speaking of Mike Miller, there was a guy on a old game show that witnessed Lincoln's assassination. Yes. Yeah, he was a boy at the time. This gentleman that was on that film was probably a little bit older, probably not the same guy. But late congressman, and somebody posted this, the late great congressman. I wouldn't say that just because he was black and marched with Dr. King. So what? Okay. I'll give him props for that, but he was a Democrat idiot in office. I mean, that toward the end of his life should have left office, but getting him out of office, getting a Democrat out of office is like an embedded tick. We need to be questioning things. Whether you're on the right or left, just like I showed the other day, when the boot heel of government's on your neck, it doesn't matter if it's right or left boot. Well, maybe he thought tectonic plates are large dinner plates. Yeah, maybe. I mean, when you're witnessing a politician, they're like a octopus. They don't have any bones, so they can fit in a tight spot. Look, he's going to fit his whole body through that one little rectangular cutout square in the corner to get to the water. And that's not a very large opening. Look at that. Much smaller than the octopus. That's amazing. And that's kind of politicians, right? They can conform to the stupidity of what's going on around in their districts, because they usually don't visit their districts, which is pretty sad. Pretty sad. I would say that RKO, speaking of RKO, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was the Charles Laughton version, released in 1939. 1939 is considered the year, the best year of movies, because you had The Wizard of Oz, you had, of course, A Hunchback of Notre Dame, you had even lesser quality noir, Betty Davis, Dark Victory, which isn't talked about a lot. You had Gone with the Wind. You had Citizen Kane, which is right at number one and has been and will probably remain so, which is amazing to me because it is a movie about a politician, about a gentleman it's basically about Randolph Hearst, who had all the newspaper power. Now, yeah, I must say, this is a picture of a rare flipped iceberg in Antarctica. It's flipped because it's much darker. That's and usually it is underwater. It's much darker. So this is a flip. So if icebergs can flip, maybe I was wrong. Maybe islands can flip. Morning, Dillard. I dated a girl like that. What a flip flop. A flip flop. I made it funny. The lurker speaks. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. The life's full of amazing things. I'm going to be drawing my chaotic creature. I'll just say that today. I have a concept for that. It's way off in the future, but I have to offer you a good ending, a good, satisfying ending to my overall art. Now I have time. I think time is the most precious thing, especially when putting together a good story. This is a photo I've never seen. Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, right? That was probably before he changed his name, walking through New York in 1963, looking very dapper indeed. Bowler hat, umbrella, the whole 9 yards. I know a Gigantor when I see one. Yeah. Gigato Gator. I hope I said that right. Anyway. Definitely need to go out to fund my comic. Check out Dillard's campaign and take a look at Luke Stone's and some others that are up there. Phantasm was released 44 years ago. That's disturbing. I remember when that came out. I think my brother might have went to see it. Phantasm's the one that had like the balls, the spheres, if you will, that floated. Here's just a brief look at that movie. So if you have a weak stomach, it was released today in 1979, 44 years ago. If you have a weak stomach and don't want to see blood this early. Oh, yeah. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, that was the main bad guy there. I do remember him. Yeah. Just another quick look. Oh, yeah. See those spheres. I know I've seen it, but it's been years ago. Look at that. All practical effects. Yeah, there's the bad guy. Sort of dreamscapish, nightmarish, huh? I may have to rewatch that. I do think of this movie when I think of horror movies. It's kind of iconic. Can't cut my volume up. Family is still asleep in the hotel room, so oh shit. Over 3,000% funded. Well, when you set your goal at only $40, I guess you can get that percentage up there, huh? But I'm very glad it's doing well, and I hope it does. The campaign does do what you hope it does in the end. Wow, here's a picture of John F. Kennedy and Franklin Delano Roosevelt Jr. I don't know if I've ever seen a picture of Jr. Definitely looks like his father in the face and everything. The Roosevelts and the Kennedys. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't give a year on that, but I assume he was in office at that time. A team of archaeologists have discovered a network of passageway under more than 3,000-year-old temple in the Peruvian Andes. It's amazing what they're finding all the time that's been there. Shut up, Rex. I'm a success, damn it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure you would have come up with a book even if you hadn't have made the $40. Dude, go check out Canadian Tussle, which is a buckler. The buckler, Canadian Tussle. Looks like a fun comic. Interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff in the news. Today, the most interesting thing that's happening in my life is trash day, and I don't have enough trash really to set out there and justify being too bothered. We think of early Spider-Man, we think of Steve Ditko, but here's early. I actually have a large, I think it's one of those Kirby Quarterlies or Kirby Chronicles or whatever they call it, actually has this on the cover. This is a Kirby Spider-Man. I know Dillard doesn't like Kirby too well, but he's the king of comics. There you go. That's a little better. I like that. Sketch for someone, the city in the background. I like that. I like Kirby Spider-Man. You got to give it to him. At least he got the cover on the first appearance. At least he got Amazing Fantasy number 15 cover. Up to that time, it was called Amazing Adult Fantasy for 14 issues. It was only called Amazing Fantasy for that one and last issue. I actually have a number 13, which is a Ditko cover, and it's Amazing Adult Fantasy in my collection. That was not too bad of a pickup, if I do say so myself. It's like, wow, to think that 2 issues from this would be the first appearance of Spider-Man. That I could afford. The first appearance of Spider-Man, not so much. Even in lower grade, it's going to be. Jong drew this, whoever Jong is. Joe Sontag's Reaper Destroyer. Kind of nice. He's working on that. It's nice to see fan art and people drawing CG characters. Joe Sontag on Indiegogo with Reaper Destroyer. Go check that out. Help me get to 100%. Yeah. On Fund My Comic. That's right. The Mythicals. A lot of good, worthy projects. I can't wait to become a part of that. Devil Flyer be launching, provided they approve it. I don't see why they shouldn't. No controversy on my end. No controversial material. Although, starting out, I said it's for all ages. I don't know that I would call it for all ages anymore. Talking about Phantasm, making $22 million on a budget of $300,000. Phantasm was released in California and Texas on this date in 1979. An utterly apeshit amalgam of horror and science fiction. Fever dream come from a different planet, while the rest of the genre was all about masks and knives. Yeah, here's a poster of Phantasm. The disturbing movie. I think I've seen it once, and that was maybe back in the 80s. I don't know. It's been a long time. Much after its release. I think my brother went to see it. I was interested at the time, but not that interested. My brother would watch the ones that I wasn't that interested in. The only one that I've recanted on and kind of and didn't regret seeing was Caddyshack. He would see like movies like my brother would go see movies like Saturday Night Fever. I didn't see that, or Phantasm, or Motel Hell. What else did he watch? Had another one in mind. But when he got home, I'd say, "How was the movie? Tell me about it." And usually he'd, give me a pretty vivid picture of what it was about. I would be interested in what the movie was about. First Spider-Man I saw on the spinner rack was Ramita. Wow. Yeah. The first one I saw was Ross Andru, or bought. Had the Jackal. It was the Amazing Spider-Man 147, I believe. Had the first clone story and it was the cover that got me, because I was vacillating about what to buy off the stands. But that was the Spidey versus Spidey, on the cover. Intrigued me enough to buy it, and it did get me reading Spider-Man somewhat at the time. I think it was when I bought that issue, the pharmacy still had a little lunch counter, and I think my mother had left I and my brother there, and I got that comic and sit up there and looked at it while we ate whatever we had, and waited on her to get back, she might have still been there. I can't, that's been many, many years ago. Gosh, 76, probably 1976. So about 50 years ago. So I would have been about 7 years old, 7 or 8, somewhere in there. Yeah, Todd McFarlane. Yeah. You are young, Hojo. Of course, I know that. Saturday Night Fever was good. Yeah. Well, a lot of people just disco dancing and all that. But it was a thing. It was very popular there for a minute, as they say. Not sure who did this art. I think this is actually Bernie Wrightson artwork. It may be in the graphic novel that came out with the Hulk and the Thing there, or it looks like a statue of the Thing. The Hulk when it come down on it, I don't know, but I bet you that's Bernie Wrightson. He did do a graphic novel where the Hulk and the Thing are together. Forget what it's called. Good morning, Mrs. Good Stuff. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Lovely day every day. Solon, who was a philosopher, this is a quote for today. I grow old learning something new every day. Well, don't we all? We all grow, and hopefully we learn something new every day. Hopefully. Survival tip. If lost in the woods, build a shelter. The tax collector will be there shortly. How true is that? Here's another key issue, although you wouldn't have known it at the time. 1989, Mephisto creates a demon he called his son Blackheart. Here is his first appearance. Yeah. I think this is still a fairly affordable issue. You might want to get it. First appearance of Blackheart. John Romita Jr. cover. I think he co-created the character with the writer. That is Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. Number, I think that says 270. I think that's still a fairly affordable key issue. Blackheart was in the Ghost Rider movie. So if they do some more with that character, it may be, it may just go up in price. So I've made sure that I've gotten my issue of it. Now we need some Lizard representation. If Lorenzo comes in, hey, Greg, how's it going? How old are you? I was born in 66. Unfortunately, missed out on Dicko. Well, I did too. I was born in 65. So at the tail end of 65, November. So first year Gen Xer, they say. Hey, Jonas, how's it going? We learn something new every day. My second grade teacher said if you learn, we forget a lot too. That's true. Joan Jett was also played with the Blackhearts. That is true, Mrs. Good Stuff. That's what I've been told. I love rock and roll. Okay, before Lorenzo slips in here, he's probably sleeping. Lizards tend to sleep, do that. Some Godzilla designs. That was I believe, around 1999 design. Not so much. I'm sorry. Some of these designs. That's the current one. Well, not too bad. I like some of those designs. That was okay for the time, but yeah, give me this one. I don't know. It's just I like the campiness of it. Give me the camp. Joan Jett also played with the Blackhearts. Absolutely. Now, if you did not get to see the sketch card that came with, I'm going to have to figure this out. He said I could, I said I could ink that. I am going to send it to the printer. Apex Comics sent it with his Cavalcade and mini comics that he did. So I'll be inking that. He said, sure, I can put that on my campaign if I give him a percentage of it. Well, what's the percentage on a trading card? What's that going to be? I'm just wondering. It's like, it's my character. You gave it to me. It's a gift. I really don't have to ask you. Just common courtesy. But yeah, I'll throw you a few bucks. I mean, how much you want for it? It's like, guys, that guy's a piker, man. I don't know. Maybe not a piker. He's wanting a percentage off a trading card. I don't know. Okay. How much of my campaign do you want? Now, if you didn't hear, and maybe Mrs. Good Stuff was alluding to this the other day, Dan Pleagle has colon and liver cancer somewhat, but and the only reason I know that is Hockey was in here yesterday saying that, his post, and that he was saying he knew a little bit more about it, and said it was in his colon and in his liver, and that it was beatable. So we do pray for James Hayes' family and Dan Pleagle's family. He has a fairly new baby, almost a year old, Hockey said. And I was like, has it been a year already? It seems just like a few months ago, and I mean a few months ago, the baby was born. And he said almost a year. I'm not sure he was correct on that, but hockey's probably correct on that. I mean, time slips by. Uh, so keep Dan and his family in your prayers, uh, and of course the Hayes family. We shouldn't take each other for granted at all. That we're just going to be here tomorrow because one little accident, kind of like 97-year-old. It's amazing that Dick Van Dyke was driving at 97. That's some fierce independence there. But if you can do it, great. I just don't want to be on the roads with you. But if I'm 97, and still want to drive and still capable of it, I don't want anybody telling me I'm too old not to drive. Here's an explosive Hulk scene by Jack Kirby. Oh, some of that, I like that they post that stuff that you generally was unpublished that he did. My childhood's candy store where I bought comics off the spinner rack, Matchbox cars, Ben Cooper, Halloween costumes. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Bubble gum cards, magazines, etc. is still standing, but it's a gift shop now. Well, that's kind of sad. Oh, yeah. And posted an update to his campaign stating he has cancer. Yes, hopefully he's caught it early enough to treat. Yeah. I know he's been down and kind of, I mean, it's just it's a shock to the system. Let's see. I hate this what they do in StreamYard, reformats, everything. Joan Jett is a male. Wow. It is shocking how Joan fooled us in the 80s because he's a blatant male. Oh, you think? Speaking of which, let's see. Need some gigs, $100 full colored. You can't beat that deal. Well, I'm unfamiliar. I might hit them up later. I don't know who that is. You'll have to introduce us. Always looking for a good colorist, though. But that incredible Ditko art. Well, that was Kirby artwork. That wasn't Ditko art. But yeah. Have you noticed that his Amazing Fantasy, his Amazing Fantasy and the early Ditkos that he did like 30-something issues of before John Romita took over, and then at the first 2 or 3 issues, he tried his best to mimic Steve Ditko, and then he just kind of slid into his own style, which was the thing to do to begin with anyway. But it was good that he kind of aped, if you will, Ditko there for the first few issues. Yeah, I miss the human touch. I think most people do. I'm afraid that AI is going to take a lot of jobs. But yeah, I'd love to go back to those times. Those are the ends of like the soda fountains, the old soda fountains, the things that you think of in the 50s and 60s, especially 40s, soda fountains where you could get, like a malt and usually they're hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that. Oh, just we only use 100% gray. And it was probably, American beef. Now, 85%, I kid you not, 85% of what they say is U.S. beef is not U.S. beef. Most beef that Americans eat is from out of the country. And it may be kangaroo or something else. A lot of people are probably eating kangaroo and they're unaware of it, believe it or not. I've had some exotic jerkies before. So I've had alligator, ostrich, wild boar, bison, buffalo meat, very good, very lean, very expensive now. You can imagine if ground beef is going up, then like it has been, then what is it going to look like? Uh, when you try and before the price started going up, it was like $8 a pound, which is kind of expensive. I mean, it is good, but yeah, that's I can eat cheaper for that. I gotta really be wanting it. Are you getting ready for April Fool's Day? I may have to boycott somebody off of here on April Fool's. Uh, because he's a practical joker and he may pull a joke. So don't even think about coming on here, Dillard, on April 1st, on April Fool's, because I'm not going to be fooled by you. I meant you meant Kirby, yeah. The legal problems with AI will bring it to a knees. I hope so. Because it's going to take a lot of jobs away. And they have an agenda. And I know we were talking about Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill. Well, I'm just executive order nowadays. Just sign an executive order, and we'll work it out in the court system much, much later. Meanwhile, the process is the damage that's done and furthers the agenda. I had Dicko on my mind. Yeah. Oh, dirty. Yeah, my birthday is November 2nd, and so is Dicko's. So that's wild. So is Abby's, my dog. Art stealing apps are entrapment tools with blockchain code in them. Yeah. Alligator would be hard to eat for me. Well, it doesn't like jerky. Most of that jerky was, there's a brand that makes all those jerkies, from different, and it's like, yeah, I'll eat that. Water buffalo, sure. I've never had water buffalo. I'll try that. So many lawyers looking to see for that to stand. Yeah. Well, I hope so. You don't hear a lot of April Fool's jokes. Yeah. Well, if there's someone that could pull one, it would probably be Dillard. So don't even think about coming on this show. I'm going to gatekeep you, man. This check this guy out. Hell yeah. Yeah. This would freak me out. It's one of those hairless cats. Oh my gosh. Looks like a little man standing there. Look at himself. Look at that. Oh yeah. There you go. Oh. Yep. He's been into the muscle building stuff. Those hairless cats are just freaky. Hmm. All right, I lost my place here. So what's going on in everybody's Tuesday? This is wild. I wonder if this is AI. This has to be maybe taking, Edgar Allan Poe. I know, uh, taking photos of him and animating it. I guess I don't know. I don't hear. Let's see. There's a YouTuber that has letters that Dicko wrote back to him. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that. How cool is that? Check this out. Edgar Allan Poe movie. I don't think he was ever caught on film, but maybe taken from different photos. It's amazing the de-aging programs, you know, what would Poe look like moving from photos. Someone that was never captured on film moving back then. That's what this looks like to me. Interesting. But the de-aging programs. Yeah, you had gator. Yeah. Gator's delicious. Yeah, gator steaks. Uh-huh. Yeah, I am concerned. I am concerned about AI because China and others they have a hand in a lot of that development of AI. I know there's a lot of questions about it, but you gotta wonder. Gotta wonder. There you go. Here you go. Good warning indeed. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Bob Dylan drummer, Metallica. No, folks, that's Prince. In the early days, I guess. Look at that hair. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We shouldn't call him Prince. Remember, he had that symbol that he had his name legally changed to, and so I mean, it wasn't a name per se. Another great classic horror film that often gets overlooked. This one here, The Incredible Shrinking Man. Yeah, don't let that pussycat in. That's an amazing Poe video. Yeah, that somebody put together, maybe from different colorized. Was it colorized? I can't even remember. Uh, but it's amazing what they can do with just still photos. You have enough angles and whatnot, how they can kind of merge that and move it, and that there's even just a desire to do that, actually. Common barking gecko. Wow, let's listen to a common barking gecko. I've not heard a common barking gecko before. Have you? Um, some more lizard representation for Lorenzo and for you to enjoy on Chubby SD. Wow, that's irritating in the morning. That would, I wonder where they're located at. Common barking gecko. Cary Grant, Richard Denning, and Deborah Carr in Affair to Remember, 1957. I forgot that Richard Denning was in that movie, to tell you the truth. Richard Denning, he is number 2 in line for being in the most sci-fi movies in the 1950s. He also is in Mr. and Mrs. North, early TV, around 1953 to it was sort of a mystery who did it, murder show, a married couple, Mr. and Mrs. North. You can find that on Alpha Video, and you might look it up. You might be able to find it broadcasts on. I love to watch early black and white TV like that. It really transports me back. And Richard Denning, there seated, um, was a handsome guy. He was a good actor. In a lot of, like I said, he was in a lot of sci-fi movies. He was in Creature from the Black Lagoon. You might know him from that movie. But Richard Denning, great American actor. I heard that Prince was an All-American college basketball player. Wow. Yeah, they could have used that deep fake software. Yeah, that's what I mean. The image of the beast, and you'll believe he's come back from the land. I don't know, man. I mean, it's amazing what they can do. I like to call EVS the artist formerly known as Pie Man because he lost a lot of weight. Yeah. Well, he lost his Homer Simpson physique. And good for him. Good for him. Whatever he's doing, hopefully he can keep it off. The dyed hair sort of throws me off, though, a little bit. The dyed hair. But, if his wife doesn't mind it, he likes it, more power to him. He could be like my dentist and have hair implants. My dentist that I had for a long time, up until the early to mid 90s, all the way up to the mid 90s, I guess, the early to mid 90s. I had that dentist, and he could cause some pain. In fact, I thought all dentistry was pain. And then I went to a new dentist. Someone, my former second wife, convinced me to give this other guy a try, and he was wonderful. He could give you a shot in your gums, and you wouldn't even feel it. I lost a crown last night or early this morning, so that I've had in there that my first dentist on. So I will have to drive to the dentist today and see what they can do about that. Back molar. I knew it was coming eventually. I mean, those they were the metal crowns, and they've been in my mouth maybe 30 years. Probably probably longer than that. I've lost count, but they were. I asked him at the time, how long will they last me? And he said probably about 10 years, and I got like 30 years or more usage out of them. So, and the other one on the other side is still in there. I had two done that way around the same time. So I'll have to go make an appointment. It'll probably be a couple weeks. I'm not in pain. So that's a good thing. Not in pain. Actually, I did have a lot of tooth pain there for a little while. And oh gosh, a couple of years ago, I had this lady pray for me who, she prayed for people and their teeth. And amazingly, even though they wanted me to have at one time 5 root canals, I think. I did one of them. I was tortured for 2 hours by the dentist. And I said, oh, man, I can't go through that 4 more times. I can't do it. That was nerve-wracking for me. One of the hardest things I ever had to do was a root canal. I'll never do it again. I said, nope, not going to pay the money. Those root canals, what, $2,000 or something? To be tortured? Hell no. I don't care if my hair goes gray, which it is, as long as I don't lose it. Yeah, that's the way I think. Want to keep that scalp clean is the main thing, I think. I think that's the main thing, to keep that scalp clean. So that the hair follicles can be nice and healthy. I just believe in looking your age. Now, Vic, he tells me I look old, and I do look older with gray hair. I'll give him that. If I just shave too, that would make a big difference. But it doesn't bother me. I think you're as young as what you feel and think, and so a man thinks, so he is. So I'm just going to think I'm a young man and act like it, and without all the stupidity, of course. I'm not 18, and I shouldn't act like 18. Hopefully with some maturity. People are getting their cash grabs. Cecil says, drove 14 hours straight. Made it to Chicago. I have a few books to sign. Yeah. I forget how many they said he had of cash grab to sign. He regrets doing that. Thousands of books to sign. There's some pictures he posted. Yeah, sign every book. I also have a crown that was probably put on when I was a teen. Yeah, these have lasted me 7,000 books. Wow. 7,000 signatures. Yeah. Well, fortunately, I only ordered the John Malin. Oh, Dirty Fatty, I need to get with you and talk price talk about a few things on that. I mean, on your drawing. Sometime when you're available, just DM me a good time. I'm available most times, and I can open up a link and we can get in. And I'd rather talk in person about it. I just think I can express what I'm trying to say better. I don't want to offend you. Don't want to, and we'll do it off air. But I do want to talk to you about it. I don't want to just type that in. Some things can get misconstrued when you talk business, and usually that's how I and Vic or other people do it. We just get behind and we can talk in person. It goes quicker too, and we understand each other better. I think I hate just sitting there and typing. Michael Taylor says, "Please, no root canal talk. I may have to have one." Yeah. Well, I'm going to start streaming again Saturday. Okay, great. I'm subscribed, so let's see, Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern, so that would be 10 for me. I think we're going to be doing the Rex Hex and Apex, but I think your stream's going to be slightly before that, so I might be able to catch it. I couldn't afford a root canal, so I had to have teeth yanked out. Yeah, that's pretty much me. I mean, I tried it once to save a tooth, and I'll never do it again. It was just too much. My blood pressure was probably going through the sky. I just did not like them in my mouth for like an hour and a half and then sit down there or 2 hours, Wish I could have had the root canal. Oh shit. Well, not me, brother. I'll never have a root canal again. Just pull the teeth. I'll get an implant or something. Eventually. Till then, I'll just go without teeth, which they're wanting to pull all my molars right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep my teeth in as long as I can, bone density. But you don't want it to go abscess. I had one of that do that, and I was got this one guy. He was all into it for the money. Tried them for a little while. He should have known his stuff. That when and I didn't know at the time, but when your tooth is abscessed, and that was, you can give all the Novocaine you want, and it's not going to numb it out for you. And he was still trying to pry the tooth. He had given me 8 shots trying to numb that thing out. And I didn't pay for that. I don't think I paid for that. I don't think I paid for him. I think I walked out. He was wanting me. He said, I could give you a 9 shot. He was still trying to pry the tooth out of there. And I could feel it. And I said, I have never experienced so much pain at a dentist before. And I've experienced some pain. But, yeah, I won't be back. And I never did go back. Hell no. Well, this has been cheery talk about root canals and pulling teeth and whatnot. But, well, I guess I better get going so I can get some things done before I do go to the dentist. I'm not sure even when they open up. I'll have to drive over there and make an appointment. It'll probably take them 2 weeks to get to me. Fortunately, my tooth's not hurting, but I think most of it is like, if it's a sharp edge or something, you don't want to kind of cut your tongue. Well, yes, Rex, yes. Yeah, that's the way I feel. When somebody's grabbing a tooth and trying to yank it out of your mouth and you can still feel it. Numb that thing out, you bastard. Or I'd rather keep the tooth. I do want to keep teeth in my mouth as long as possible because of, if you don't have that tooth in there, then you lose bone density, in your jaw. And it may be a while before I can, and I don't want to go to dentures. My dad had dentures. I never knew my dad without dentures. He had to have dentures at a very early age before I even knew him. And I just don't want to go that route. Maybe one of these days I have money to get implants, but that's very, very expensive. But you want to have a nice smile, pleasant smile, and be able to eat, right? I don't know how I'm going to, and as long as my teeth are not hurting me, I don't want to have the root canals. I'm not going to. So just let them get bad. And eventually I'll have to have them pulled. But till then, I need something to eat with. And as long as they're not causing me pain, my dentist is wanting to be proactive and pull them before they do start to hurt. Well, you don't want to wait till they do start to hurt. Well, I know, but I want to keep what I was born with as long as I can possibly. I think that's probably the best. As long as it's not abscess and continually pumping poison into your bloodstream, right? That's not good. EVS gave my work some attention 2 days ago. Oh, good. And people started blowing up my notifications following me. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Keep at it. Well, all right, crew. Gonna get out of here. We'll see you on the 4 o'clock shadow, hopefully. If not, watch it on replay. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Guess I'll go heat the rest of my coffee up and start my day, which has been like an all-nighter already. Take care. We'll see you later.